I remember at the beginning of my journey, I was so into like getting the proper fit of inserts, and I realized that I was actually restricting my nipples. I would pump and I would get milk out, and then the next time the milk isn't coming out. If I zoom in, you will literally see the milk trying to come out. This is so powerful. Can you see the milk? The milk is starting to break through. Look at this. That's what you want. That's where you're gonna get the most milk out. Can you see the nipple going in and out? That's a good sign. Hello everyone. So in this video, I am going to be showing you how to pump with the Medela manual pump. This is one of my favorite manual pumps or hand pumps. If you see my comparison video with another manual pump, the Vital Baby, you'll understand why I really like this pump. Today, I'm going to be showing you how to pump with this pump. So the first thing that I would actually recommend before you hand pump is to do a little bit of hand expression. For how to do that, check out my previous videos on how to hand express. Once you've gotten some juices flowing, or in this case, some milk flowing, and you can actually start seeing your first few drops, it is going to speed up your process very, very quickly. I have to mention a few things before we start. The biggest thing is your flange sizing. Now, this is a 24mm breast shield, and for most people, this is quite large. A lot of people usually need inserts. However, depending on the size of your nipple, you may need an insert or you may not need an insert. And the reason I say that is because this breast shield, even though it's 24, it actually holds the breast pretty well, and it actually really helps to express milk even at 24mm. So this pump worked for me. Normally I use inserts. I usually use 21mm inserts, but I could actually hand express and get really good results with these 24mm because you've got to find the right balance with hand expression. Yes, you want it to fit your nipples, but at the same time, you actually want there to be a little bit of space because you don't want there to be restriction to those ducts. Because if you remember from the hand expression video, you've got ducts that milk has to pass through. And guess what? Those ducts need space for the milk to pass through it. But if your nipple can literally just barely fit into the breast shield, or there's just enough room for your nipple to fit into the breast shield, then there's not actually going to be enough space for your nipple to actually expand a little bit to accommodate the milk passing through the ducts. So that is why you need a little bit of space. When I say a little bit, I'm talking like maybe 1, 2, 3mm of space between your nipple and the wall of your breast shield in order to give a little bit of space for that milk to pass through. I remember at the beginning of my journey, I was so into like getting the proper fit of inserts, and I realized that I was actually restricting my nipples. So my nipples were hurting because the inserts I was using were narrowing down the hole too much. And so my nipples, even though like it could fit in, but there was not enough space for the milk to actually flow through. And so what would happen is that I would pump and I would get milk out, you know, after that first pumping session. And then the next time that I come to actually pump again, the milk isn't coming out. And what's happened is that I've restricted those ducts. And so the ducts have become hurt and become painful and become a little bit traumatized. And so the milk isn't actually getting the chance to flow the second time round. And I'm wondering what's going on. Like, this worked for me the first time. And it's because my inserts were too narrow. So you've got to have inserts that leave room for your milk to flow. Okay, now that we understand that, we can actually get started with the pumping. So once you've got your correct insert, you place your nipple as far in as you possibly can. And the reason you want to do that is because you don't want your breast pump to be doing the work of pulling your nipple in. You want your nipple to be as far into the tunnel as possible, so that what is sitting on this part right here is your areoli. All right, the further in your nipple is, the better of a pumping experience you're gonna have. So once your nipple is as far in as you possibly can, then you can start pumping. Now, there are two ways for you to start. The first is that you can start with this stimulation mode, which the Medela naturally has. So it actually has a stimulation part, which is this part right here. And so you actually want to do short. So when I say short, not all the way down, you want to do short and quick. So you want to do a fast cycle speed. So where you're actually going pretty fast or as fast as you can. And when you start doing that, don't be worried if you don't see milk straight away. It takes a few minutes. So I've just turned it this way because I'm right-handed. It just makes it a little bit easier for me. So you want to do short and fast pulls. You're going to do it for a couple of minutes before you start seeing anything. Don't worry. The milk is making its way. I promise. Can you see if I go in, if I zoom in, you will literally see the milk trying to come out. This is so powerful, right? Short and quick, sharp bursts. And just keep doing that for like a minute or two. Can you see the milk? The milk is starting to break through. Just keep doing that for a few minutes. And there you go. We've got our first streak of milk. You can see it in the tunnel right there. Now, that is one way of doing the expression. Another way of doing the expression is to use your handle right here. And with this handle, again, short, so not long, like, or this is long, okay? So long is all the way down, and this is short, okay? So you want short and you want quick. So you don't want it to be slow, you want it to be quick. And you're gonna get the same effect as the first method. Can you see the milk? The milk is like pulling out. So again, you just do that until you see, you know, a little bit of milk. Again, short and fast. So this area right here on your breasts, this area right here, you should feel a sensation of it being like tugged at. Is just the best way I can explain it. Just around here on your breast, you should feel that. That's how you know that it is pulling at those lobules and it is stimulating those lobules to release the milk. Okay, so we've got some milk already. There we go. And by the way, this is actually a very good simulation of the breast. And this is really what it looks like. You're going to see some splatterings, you know, on the bottle. That's how you know you're doing well and you've got a little bit of milk. So once you start getting the milk, I wouldn't actually advise to start pressing down all the way straight away because that is a very high suction. So you kind of want to ease your way into it. So now that you started getting the milk, you now want to go a little bit deeper. Okay, not all the way down, but a little bit deeper. And still fast, but maybe not as fast as how you were sort of doing it when you were stimulating the milk. Now, one thing I will say about hand expression is that this is the longer route, okay? So if you're trying to get your milk out ASAP, then hand expression is not it, or a manual expression, should I say. Those words being used interchangeably. So you want to do manual expression when you've got a bit of time. Otherwise, you're going to hurt your nipple because you're just trying to go super fast. And this requires gentleness, relaxedness, just being in the mood and in the groove of it. That's how you're going to get the best experience. And what will happen is when the milk starts to come out, you can actually sometimes start hearing it spraying into the back. So if you listen closely, you'll hear it spray into the back of the breast pump right here. And if you look at it closely as well, you may be able to see like several sprays of milk shooting out from your nipple into the back. That means that you're doing everything right. And so you just keep going and you keep going. And then as you get comfortable with the suction, then you can go a little bit deeper. But trust me, you don't need to go all the way in if it is too painful. You just go as far in as you're comfortable with. And you can actually spend your entire pumping session just pumping like this. But when you really want to pull out milk and you've gotten very comfortable with the long pulls, when I say long pulls, I mean these types of pulls, then what you can do to try and pull out more milk is to hold it down. When you hold it down, you'll see it spray. You'll literally see it sprayed into the back. And then when it stops spraying, you know that you've pulled out enough. You let it go and you hold it down again until you see another spray. And if you stop seeing a long spray like that, then you start doing your short bursts again. After you've done it for like 1 or 2 minutes, you'll start seeing longer sprays. Then you try the long pull again, then you'll see a long spray. You do a long pull again, you see a long spray. When the long spray stops, you go back to doing shorter pulls like that. So it's just a going back and forth between these shorter pulls and then the long ones once you sort of get used to the long pull suction. I wouldn't recommend as a first time mom for you to be doing this because the suction of this is quite strong. So do this, and you can literally do this for your whole pumping session, okay? Please don't feel like I'm not pumping right or anything like that. Absolutely not. Remember, for you to get the most milk out, you need to be comfortable and without pain. Comfort and relaxedness is the way to more milk. So let's see, how much milk have we gotten? Not much. And that is because, look at this. Can you see this? So basically my pump wasn't aligned very well. So you've always got to just make sure, if you stop getting milk as well, just check your breast and check if it's aligned, because it may have gone out of alignment and then you may just need to do some little readjustment to get it back into alignment. That's what you want. That is what you want. And you just got to keep going until you get your milk. Obviously as well, bear in mind that this is a lot more difficult because this is not a real breast, and so it doesn't have that nice seal. You don't want any air spaces between here at all. You want there to be a firm seal, so there's no air gaps from this side. You want it to be tightly sealed, and so the suction is able to work more effectively. That's where you're going to get the most milk out. So just keep on pumping. Can you see the nipple going in and out? That's a good sign. That means it is tugging at the nipple. You want to be able to see that. If you're not seeing the nipple going in and out, it's not suctioning properly. That is very important. If you see, in that time, we have managed to produce a few mils, okay? And like I said, you're going to have more success with a real breast than with a bottle. Once you're done expressing, or you need to take a break for whatever reason, don't forget to put your breast pump and secure it by pressing it down into your breast pump holder so that it's not accidentally knocked over, because that is the worst thing ever. After you've spent all the time and all the hard work expressing, for you to lose your milk. You don't want that at all. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.